Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Kingdom Come Deliverance, Blind. Now
what do you want? You've no business here.
Oh, do I not? Why is the church...
What do you want here? Go and play your games somewhere else.
I guess the church is closed at night? Which you'd think, if there would be one place that would actually be open, it would be the church. But, oh well. I have like a bajillion things to do here in Sasau. I'm currently in this part. Is there a tavern? There is. Okay, so I think I'll just sleep until the morning. Maybe read a book. How tired? Yeah, I'm not tired at all actually. So you know what? I will visit the tavern, play like a round of dice, just for fun, and then read a book until the morning. Where is the tavern? That's a grocer. It's like directly opposite the pillory in the middle. Ah, because that's the tavern in the glade, right? But the question is, does it have beds? I'm not exactly sure because it's not an inn, is it? It's specifically a tavern.
Mother of God, you look like you've been assaulted.
Do I?
May the Lord watch over you.
Nobody is playing dice. Skalitz priest. Okay, that's interesting. Let's talk to this guy.
Got it for you right here.
Ah, so that's the guy I was trying to find. That's the priest from Skalitz, whom one of the villagers of Skalitz is serving as a,
Here we are.
you know, as a housemaid or something, and she's wondering whether he will come back.
Here.
Father, I need your help urgently.
You? I recognize you. You're the Skalitz blacksmith's son.
Yes, that I am.
I'm sorry. What did you want?
It may sound strange, but I need you to go back to St. James. The locals need their spiritual shepherd.
No, certainly not, my boy. That's one place I shan't be going back to.
Is that the... But does he mean the church in Rovna? Because there was no church at Skalitz itself.
How did you manage to get out of Skalitz?
I didn't. I wasn't there during the raid. I was here at Sasau for confession.
And why aren't you with our folks at Ratai? What if Sir Radzig has need of you?
Look, here I'm an honored guest and well cared for. In Ratai, there's hardly room enough for the refugees already there. And what's more, the parish priest doesn't like me, which happens to be mutual. The last thing I want to be doing is haggling with him over where I can sleep or how many slices of bread I'm allowed to eat.
He certainly isn't known for being generous. Why? It is your parish, after all.
A parish that's little but a ruin these days. And besides, God forgive me, but I'm afraid. All kinds of ruffians are on the rampage around Skalitz.
It isn't completely safe, but most of them are gone.
As my father used to say, why take the risk?
You are in good health.
Don't you feel any shame? Think of all those Christians who faced death and never betrayed their faith.
That's something else entirely.
No, it's not. They weren't afraid to face death, and you're squirming at the thought of some slight danger.
Haven't you seen how they ransacked the place? Does that seem slight to you? Well, not to me.
The Cumans are gone, but the townsfolk won't come back. And why should they? when the man who ought to set an example, the one they look up to, is shitting himself?
The Lord forgive me. You're right. I should go back.
There. You see? Now I hear a man talking.
And where will I live? My house in Skalitz must surely be in ruins.
You can live right there at St. James. I'm sure the locals will be grateful enough to give you a roof over your head.
Well, it's true they've treated me kindly, and I do owe them. Very well. I will go back.
Thank you. The people from St. James will never forget this.
Okay, so he will return. And I guess that is the church at Rovna. So I guess that Agnes will probably follow him and won't be able to cook for that merchant. I will have to look for someone else.
Father, when do you plan to return to St. James?
I beg your pardon. Why do you ask, my boy?
Your housekeeper, Agnes, is in Rattay and doesn't want to work for anyone else. She's waiting for your return.
So she survived. Thank the Lord. I prayed for her and all who suffered, but I'm not going back. Tell her I appreciate her concern, but to look out for herself now. Take care now.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Because I've just convinced him that he is going back. I think the game is broken. I can't talk to him anymore. But that is blatantly wrong. Like, I've just convinced him to go back, and now he's telling me to tell her that he's not going back?
God be with you.
Are there any problems around here I might be able to help with?
Nothing I've heard about. Thank the good Lord. It's quiet here. Farewell.
Okay, so what are my other local quests? Okay, so it seems all of the other things are at the part up here where I'm currently not, because I've explored all of this, but not all of this. So I'll go there in the morning. For now, I guess I'll. Oh, is there someone who would like to play?
I'd like to throw some dice. Fancy a game?
Oh, that's a very cheap. It's not even worth to waste time on that. Like, to be honest, even 100 groschen wager seems small to me at this time. Okay, I'll stand somewhere and just read a book, because I'm not really that tired.
Go to the women! God bless them.
Here, enjoy it.
I still have a couple of books. For example, this, which I don't think I finished. Oh, I did. Okay, so let's transfer it to my horse, as to not be confused. There is this, a skill book on vitality, which is sure. Marathon. When you can't go anymore, push yourself harder. What could happen? In the worst case scenario, you'll die at the finish line.
My pleasure.
Okay, and in 8 hours I can read it in its entirety, and it's just around the dawn. And I won't be that tired, so overall that's a pretty good deal, I would say. Although, it's still a little early, most people will be asleep, actually. Most people will be asleep. Okay, new perk available in Vitality, pretty great. Do I have anything else to read? Sharp as a knife, skill book on maintenance. My maintenance is at full already, right? I've read enough today anyway. Okay, so I'll just wander around then. Vitality. You run slower, but keep at it for longer. You run faster, but you tire faster. As soon as your health falls to a minimum, you go berserk and your stamina regenerates 4 times faster. When you sleep, your health regenerates faster. Okay, this is pointless, I think. So I'll take this. Berserk. Okay, and I'll just stroll around. Like, I think, as I said, I think it's too early. Most people will actually be asleep. But I can get my bearings around the other part of town. Maybe play some dice at the other tavern? Okay, that's just another butcher.
God be with you.
So he will want more meat, right?
God be with you.
Those Radiant quests do not interest me that much, especially given how they only pay a little. It's not really worth all the trouble.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
Oh, so that's the guy who will prepare the flower crown for Lady Stephanie.
The Lady of Talmberg sent me. She wants me to find out why the crown's been delayed.
Through no fault of ours, I can tell you that. We had a large stone ordered for mounting on the crown, a beautiful Moldavite from South Bohemia that we had cut and polished in Prague. But, well, in short, the good merchant, Martin Wiesek, who was supposed to bring it from Prague, got lost along the way. It's like the ground swallowed him up.
Well, Lady Stephanie won't be happy.
Look, we've got something else here we can replace the stone with, but I'm sure even you can see it's not worthy of a noble wedding, and definitely not worthy of our fine craftsmanship. Oh, if I only had someone who'd try to find the Moldavite.
Why don't you just ask me? Of course I'll try to find the stone. Just tell me where the fellow was seen last.
That fellow, as you call him, the esteemed merchant, Martin Wiesek, was last seen riding alongside the Sasau River, passing by the footbridge over the ford, to the west of here. Evidently, he never made it to Sasau town.
Well, I'll look for him, but he could be far over the mountains by now. Or under the ground.
Goodbye.
Yeah, probably he was attacked by bandits. Because there have been bandits. Can I ask follow-up questions?
About that Moldavite we discussed.
Yes. Do you have some news?
No, nothing for now. Give me more time.
Of course. Just remember that I have to mount the stone on the crown, and that's no small matter. God be with you.
There have been bandits on the fords when I was coming to town. Also, Procopius is supposed to live somewhere here, who has a sick tooth, and I'm supposed to pretend that it's actually a holy relic, which is definitely immoral.
God
but
save you.
Maybe I can somehow expose the charlatan?
It doesn't look good.
What? What are you talking about?
Your tooth. I bet it hurts a lot, doesn't it?
How do you know about that?
Oh, I can present myself as a physician because I have good enough perks.
As a practitioner of the healing arts, I recognize the signs of a sick tooth. You have a bloated face, you're sweating, and the way you breathe is absolutely typical of the condition.
You're a physician?
Isn't that what I said? And if I can give you some advice, you should have it removed. There's a blacksmith down in the town.
No. There's no way I'm putting myself in the hands of that butcher.
I understand. But look here, I know about healing. I can go along with you and make sure everything goes as it should.
You do that?
Of course.
Jesus Christ. I'm a grown man and I need an escort.
You don't have to be embarrassed. Every man in the world's afraid of having his teeth pulled.
I know, but even so...
Let's go then, and get this over with.
Okay, lead Procopius to the blacksmith. Which one? Which blacksmith? There are at least 2, and maybe even 3. Like I assume you mean the closest one, which would be over here. Or is he going on his own? Well, then I'll just follow. You know what? I think I perhaps should be taking off my helmet. At least, if I'm not taking off my whole armor, I should at least be taking off my helmet when in town, because it's a little bit silly how I run around in full plate armor, and all the conversations never show Henry's face because he has the visor down.
Jesus, it's gonna be really painful, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. But are you going on your own, or...?
Don't worry. It will hurt a little, but then you'll feel relieved. You'll see.
If you say so.
So I guess he is going to the blacksmith on the other side.
I don't know. Isn't it a waste of time? Maybe it'll go away on its own.
Are you mad? It won't go away, it'll just get worse. The sooner we get it out, the better.
Yes, you're right.
To be honest, that's a very common attitude, even in people nowadays. You know, you don't want to go to the doctor because maybe it'll go away on its own, or like, you know, maybe if you want to notice it, you pretend not to notice it for long enough, it'll somehow fix itself. To be honest, I'm very grateful to live in the 21st century, and like healthcare is definitely one of the highlights, because if I imagine what kind of pain people must have been, you know, in the Middle Ages from some of those conditions, and there was little or literally nothing that could be done to help them.
I can't. It's embarrassing. I'm a coward, and I won't be able to handle it.
We're almost there. Just be a man about it.
You're right. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hold him tight.
Let's do it.
Ah, look.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
out.
The agony.
Hey, want to keep it as a memento?
I love it.
Oh, all right.
Okay, anything to say about the experience? Or are you already gone? But what? But you've already been to the blacksmith. What does this option? What purpose does it serve?
Let's go to the blacksmith. Maybe we'll make it there this time.
Fine, let's go.
But wait, we already did go. What are you talking about? Okay, I think something is broken about the quest. I definitely succeeded because the tooth is literally right here. Oh, that's a molar tooth. Man, that would have been... Like, obviously molars are... They have the largest amount of roots, and they are the most securely rooted in your jaw. So it's the most difficult ones to pull out. Man, that must have hurt like something very painful. Okay, but let me go around and explore the remnant of the town, because there's still more than a couple locations where they have not really visited in here. Although, now that I look at it, there really isn't. Like, there's a blacksmith, and then there's just a monastery. What do I have to do here? That's the branch from the monastery church? Decorative, blah blah blah. I'll do it in a moment. This is back in Ratai. And this is at the monastery as well. So generally speaking, I guess I'm just going to the monastery at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I have anything to sell? I have a longbow.
Yeah.
That's about it. Okay, I'll keep it for now. Although, I'll check with the blacksmith.
God, what happened to you? You look like you've been assaulted.
Goodbye.
I'm not sure whether to sell the gambeson now that I have this other one. I think I will. It's pretty heavy. Although, in all honesty, I do like the lighter one. I mean, the darker one better than like this yellow one. But you don't really see it that much anyway, what with all of the armor. So let's sell it because it's, as I said, pretty heavy. I will keep the boots because I think it's silly that whenever I take off my armor to sneak, I am going barefoot because I don't have any actual boots.
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, sir.
What about this?
That sounds pretty interesting. A little less and I'll be satisfied.
All right, sir.
Okay, so let's go into the monastery and talk to everyone there.
Hey! You've no business here. Clear up. Are you looking for me?
Is that Brother Nicodemus? No?
Can I take a look inside the monastery?
What's got into you, boy? The grounds inside the monastery belong to the monks of the Order of Saint Benedict. No others shall pass.
I've been sent here from Talmberg. I'm to speak with the one responsible for construction.
That'd be the master builder. Or with our brother, the overseer. What matter is it you're here about?
It has to do with the stone for construction.
Ah, then that's a matter of supply. You'll want to talk to the overseer. He knows more about that sort of thing. His study's right above us, more or less. Go up the steps to the left and then head back in this direction, almost the whole way. God be with you.
Okay, I'll look for him in a moment. But first... let's talk to Brother Nicodemus. Maybe he will have something to say about the situation in Merhoyed. What we've accomplished there. Not really.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
I do.
In that case, you've come to the right place. Someone who knows what they're doing will have it done in a jiffy. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
What will happen to my family? I can't. I just can't.
Where is it they're not supposed to grow?
Between the mint and the eyebrights. Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener.
Okay, but
Take care now.
do I have anything to sell, potions-wise? Yeah, I think I'll sell like 30 of those. To be honest, before I use 40 of 100 healing potion, it's going to be a while anyway. Is Johanka here?
What will happen to my family?
She is.
For the love of God! What have you been doing?
Am I really so dirty? I've just had a wash.
You wouldn't happen to know what Fritz and Matthew did here, would you?
Don't even talk to me about that. They weren't badly injured compared to most of the others here, and after lying in bed for a while, they got bored. So they started drinking. I'm trying to help people in dire need, and the two of them are drinking! With that cretin Elias.
They always have been thoughtless, but at least they were punished for it. Who is this Elias, anyway?
One of the ordinal monks who helps out here. He was the one who brought the booze. All three of them got friendly pretty fast. You know what they say about birds of a feather.
What kind of person is this Elias?
A timid kind of fellow.
And why is he being so hard on Fritz and Matthew? They're drowning in debt because of him, and it seems all they had was a small fight.
I don't know. He was the one who wanted to befriend them in the first place. I don't believe it's because of any property damage they did. It's got more to do with wounded pride.
And do you know what got between them?
I don't have a clue. One minute they're the best friends in the world, and then a lot of yelling and furniture flying around. They threw Fritz and Matthew out straight afterwards.
Thank you. That's all I need.
What's happening here? Oh my God. Philip and... they're all...
Yes? Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the Custodian isn't one of those.
Is the Custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe. But convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. What can you tell me about the Custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week, Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power.
Good luck, then.
Please, help me.
Oh, that's Elias. That's the guy. Okay, I actually do need to talk to you. And you know what? Seeing how I'll have a lot of convincing to do, I might drink this, increases speech by 5 for 10 minutes, and I have 5 of them. So, I do have a bit of a spare.
He'll be able to get out of this on his own. And who are you?
Brother Elias.
What do you do here?
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back then.
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold a patient down, or fetch and carry things.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
Thank you. I heard you had a fight with Fritz and Matthew.
Heathens.
So it was you they fought with?
Yes, it was me. And I hope I'll never have to see those wastrels again.
They deserve to be ousted, but the debt? How are they ever going to pay it?
I really don't care. Let them live in penury. Brutes.
How much do they owe? Maybe I'll just pay for them. Like, to be honest, if they did cause any actual distraction, or if they like hurt him seriously in the fight, I do believe he's actually owed recompense. But at this point, I am ridiculously wealthy, so...
How much do they owe?
A lot.
Yeah, that is a lot to regular people, but I'll just let him have it.
Well, well, look at you.
God be with you.
He just needs to sleep.
Huh? Damn. Why are you waking me?
You look alright?
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I've got bandages, so I can take care of it.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately, I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then. God be with you. Huh? What do you want?
How are you feeling?
Good. It feels clean. Hope it helps.
It will. Tell them to rebandage you daily. You have the bandages here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Don't mention it.
God be with you.
Okay, I can pickpocket the wounded, apparently.
Yeah? Damn, why are you waking me?
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
Quiet! I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian could set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Get the healing herbs. Purple, you say?
Yeah? Where? What's happening? God be with you.
I don't exactly know whether I have what he needs.
I'm not needed here. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. I'm not needed here. Everything here is fine?
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Yeah, I have a like a what's the word for that? Like a sleeping potion. Like a, what's the word for that? You know, a potion that has like a calming effect. So I'll help you.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
I've got something for you.
Really?
Drink this and you'll fall straight to sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Take care now.
Okay, let's view the...
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the Infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
What happened to Philip?
Philip?
He's unconscious. He's shivering and he has a fever.
Ah, I didn't know that. When he first came here, he was fine. No wounds on him. He was escorting the others. Then he got worse and worse until he lost consciousness entirely. Ask Johanka. Maybe she'll know more.
Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the Infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the Custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm shamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded, then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this... I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
What do you think about the Custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
That's true. He comes to visit Johanka. But he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the herbs. Whoever suffers from headache and fever, so that's not it. It's also supposed to be purple, right? Thistle is a miraculous medicine against various ailments and plagues. In water it gives relief from pain and poisoning. In ale it restores appetite. Okay, so gives relief from pain? That could be it. Dispels fatigue. Aromatic herb for fumigation and brewing potions of all kind. Drives away insects. Whoever drinks in moderation and brewed in the right combination shall gain strength in battle, improves strength and vitality. Okay, that's potentially... called also the Black Solstify. It is a best remedy for broken bones, swelling, bruising, and aids as well as against internal pains from the bones. It is used for health and resilience, but it also drives away horses and big animals, so it's comfrey. Okay, I should have plenty of that, if I remember correctly. Or do I? I guess it's maybe on my horse? Indeed.
Yeah, where? What's happening?
Hopefully I have what you need.
Thank you. With any luck, I'll soon be feeling better. If you find the time, stop by to see me in a few days. Goodbye.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned some... What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
What does that even mean, having the banquet here? Like, that's an inane idea, which I guess maybe is the point, because obviously he wouldn't agree to that. But theoretically, if he would, that wouldn't help her at all, because not only would there be people walking around, all of the wounded people, he would still hit on her. Like, I think the point is supposed to be that it's such a ridiculous notion that he will decline, but in the process of declining, she will use it as an argument for him declining altogether. Like, I think that's how it's supposed to work. What's the worst that can happen? Like, at the worst the worst that can happen is he actually agrees, which it is a stupid idea, and I don't think they would even let him, but maybe he is well within his rights to organize it if he really wished it. I'm not quite sure what the option it represents, but given that it is a persuasion option, I suppose it's better than this.
Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, Custodian?
What?
You admire Johanka's self-sacrifice. I'm sure she appreciates the same quality in others.
Ah, yes. Quite. I was just thinking the same. I'll have some food brought here.
Okay, so that's why, because obviously now he will have to organize and he will provide like better stuff for the people. Obviously she will have to suffer him hitting on her, but I think she might still prefer that if the other people are cared for. Let's talk to her and see whether that's the case.
For the love of God, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been taking care of the wounded.
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned.
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale. He doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
That custodian Sebastian is really obnoxious.
He can be unpleasant, but in his own way. I don't know.
You can't be serious.
What's that supposed to mean? At least he was here, unlike you, the whole time. And anyway, mind your own business. God be with you. For the love of God, what have you been doing?
Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know.
God be with you.
Are you holding him firmly?
Aye.
Done.
Okay, I think I'm done for the time being. Let's take a look at my quest log. Okay, I should have enough time to pull out the weeds, I think. Although, I'm also interested in knowing where the overseer is. He's somewhere up, right? That's what they said. Like, I assume they meant by, like, over here, maybe? No, it's in the corner, so it's a little bit earlier. Right here, right? Yeah.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Divish. I'd like to have a look around the spot where the accident happened.
And why is Sir Divish interested in that regrettable accident?
He'd like to know what role the masonry had in it, or at least its quality.
I guess it played a crucial role, but I don't intend to stand in the way of your investigation. I've already made sure the poor man was well taken care of, and that's enough for me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you remember when they brought the last delivery of stone?
Yes. It rained a lot that week, so they let the carriage sit right outside of the gate on the other side of the wall. It took some time before it was dry enough for further transport.
And there wasn't anything strange about it?
A little strange, I suppose. Usually they bring us a large block of stone, which the builders cut to size. But this time it was a number of smaller pieces. No one complained. They probably saw it as less work.
Who's in charge of purchasing materials for the construction?
Mainly it's me. I pay the fees and make arrangements for delivery. But those in charge of the actual building take care of the rest. I'm not knowledgeable when it comes to the quality of stone. They had the red stone delivered from a long way off.
They take care of storage as well?
Yes, but usually whatever arrives is used up straight away. The construction is in full progress.
They sent you a letter from Talmberg.
Really? Hand it over then.
Oh no, I'm not the messenger. They sent it earlier.
And it still hasn't arrived? It depends on who the letter was passed on to, but I'm sure it will find its way here in the end.
I heard that you were late with your payment to the Talmberg quarry.
That's true. We ourselves had late payments, and it took some time before we gathered enough money to pay. But that's happened in the past. May the Lord watch over you.
What's that book? It's like a receipt book. On May the 5th, a receipt of goods from merchant Olbran of Corim as follows: 15 ears of plain cloth, 3 barrels of salted herring, 1 sack of salt, 1/2 measure of volume, 12 smoked ham hocks, and 2 cords of linen wick for production of candles. On May the 9th, receipt of gifts intended for the Monastery of St. Procopius from Sir John Zula of Vostek and his wife Hedwig. The most noble Sir John, in his great Christian generosity, has bestowed upon the Monastery of St. Procopius a silver candelabrum of 4 branches. Lady Hedwig has gifted an exquisite display cabinet constructed of the finest wood. On May the 10th, issued 4 blocks of pork lard and a bag of salt to the monastery kitchen for the production of scratchings. On May the 15th, issued to Radana, wife of the bailiff of Sasau, beeswax and cord of linen wick for the production of candles. On May the 17th, receipt of goods from merchant Vratislav of Kolin, 5 eels each of blue atlas and golden brocade, a spool of silver thread, 2 tailor's scissors, 1/2 measure of rare spice, and new engraving tools for the master engraver Jerome of Silesia. On May the 20th, receipt of pigments for the decoration of the church of Ujitz, ochre and azurite in a form ready for the brush, and mineral of cinnabar, which will be used for making a pigment possessing a red hue. On May the 4th and 20th, issued to a tailor in Sasau 1 dozen eels of woolen cloth for the sewing of new habits for the monks, by cause of some of the aforementioned issuing forth complaints about the ragged state of their garments. On May the 5th and 20th, receipt of a peculiar payment from Peter Doloy of Volkovets, 5 dozens of eggs, 2 sacks of flour, 1 block of pork lard, and 8 yards of fuel wood. Is that going to be an evidence of something? Guess I'll have to wait and see. But regardless, who are you, Brother Porter?
Take care now.
This episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!